fools! You have fallen into my trap, and now you are forever lost to the VCR Podcast. And now, here are your masters. Use the shawls.
Damn it! She's in another castle, isn't she?
Jin and Chris.
All the Nintendogs are on fire.
CS Radical.
I was promised cat boys.
Now, let the show begin.
VCR Podcast, episode 71, the only podcast that predates itself in the moment the title is spoken. Hello, everybody. Adam, a.k.a. CS Radical, with you guys. Jin and Chris, Views Vishals, here with me on this Wednesday of April the 14th, Cheers. Where we sometimes talk about games, sometimes talk about dumb shit, and a lot of other things, but mostly dumb shit. That's usually the podcast mantra.
I feel like today's going to be a shit ton of dumb shit.
Well, I mean, that's because it's the three of us together. That's the joke. It's exclusively dumb shit here. Especially when we're talking about, upgrading PCs. Because that's my dumb shit. So I said it already on the pre-stream for those who are watching the Twitch stream. See twitch.tv/csradical for those just who want to know. Vish already walking off. That's a great start.
And good night, everybody.
Yeah. So, to make a story short, I had the great idea to put in a new NVMe SSD on Friday. And that should have gone swimmingly well. And then it took until Sunday evening for it to finally go swimmingly well. Because apparently when you put in a stick of RAM, sometimes it's just faulty as fuck and lets everything crash. And it took me 3 days to figure out that that's what it was.
I feel your pain on that. I had the exact same RAM problem. Exact same.
And it's so frustrating too because at the very beginning when I first installed Windows on that hard drive and logged in on it, it was so quick. I'm like, this is what I've been hoping for. And I'm like, this is amazing. Oh my god, I fucking love this. It's a little bit stupid that I have a different installed Windows.
Boom goes the dynamite.
So all my personal stuff is in still another hard drive. I'll have to figure out how to move it all over. It's fine, I'll figure it out. Crash. No! Don't do that!
No.
And for the next 2 full days, it was, no, stop!
This sounds like when I was upgrading the PC as well, and I was ready to throw it out the second story window.
See, I wanted to throw it out the window, and then I realized, wait, I spent $1,000 on this thing plus all the accessories. I probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, please don't. I think that when it comes to electronics, throwing them off of windows, balconies.
Adam, I don't suggest you do it, but if you do, can you live stream it for us, or at least record it so we can watch it over and over again?
No. It's too late. I can't go back in time.
Don't do it.
I don't have a DeLorean to go back and stream. Also, my other stuff would still be there. So it would then be me on the Friday looking at my dumb SL being like, just fucking not put that stick of RAM in, you dumb son of a bitch. And then problem would have been solved. So you know what? Maybe I should try to find a DeLorean. I might have solved 3 days worth of hell. And no, I'm not going to play that song because I'm not going to get copyright claim just so I have a functional computer for 2 more days.
If you get a DeLorean and you use it just to fix your RAM problem 3 days earlier, I'm going to be so fucking pissed at you.
I didn't say that's all I'm going to do. It's a test.
Get the lottery numbers. Go back a week.
It's a test, okay? And then we can look at the lottery numbers.
Here's what I would do. I would bet $10,000 on the 2007 New York Giants in Super Bowl.
I just get normal lottery numbers and do it that way.
Yeah, I would just go small. We already had the conversation with the lottery stuff, but I would just go small time lottery and just make my little bit of money. I don't want the big jackpot. So I'd just be like, all right, what's the next time 649? What are the $5 million jackpot ones where it's that perfect amount where you're good for forever, or should be good forever, I should say. And then you just kind of go with that. I'm not going to be the one that's like, all right, let me go to the sports almanac and see what was going on in 1996.
That sounds like the plot of a
rule
movie.
Of thumb, if you ever have a time machine, just make sure your douchebag uncle or great uncle or godfather, whatever the fuck isn't around when you're bringing shit back. Yeah. Just for safety purposes.
Just as a side, my favorite line from Back to the Future 2 is when Doc tells Marty that he's going to destroy the DeLorean or something. Like they're in the future, and he's like, "No, I'm going to get rid of it. We're done with this." And then he asks Doc, "Well, what are you going to do next? Because you've already done time travel. What do you do next?" And he goes, "I'm going to now solve the universe's most unsolved mystery: women." And that's it. Like Doc himself has figured out fucking traveling through time, but he doesn't understand women. And at that moment, I was like, I understand this more than I should.
That was. I've never still actually watched the third one because after the second one, I'm like, I think I've gotten my fill. I don't need to go and see what the third one's all about.
I've never seen any of them.
Oh, you got to at least watch the first one.
What the? We're literally on something called VCR Podcast. Nothing speaks VCRs more than a fucking Back to the Future marathon.
So I think the rule now should be Vish is not allowed to watch any more crappy Netflix movies until he watches Back to the Future.
Yeah, just do it. You got to see at least the first one.
No, it's on my list of things to watch. Like, there's a lot of stuff I haven't watched.
Okay, well, it's still above crappy like movie on Netflix that you somehow came across because you're like, okay, I don't know what this is, so I'll watch this. It's like, no, you know what Back to the Future is now. It's going to be awesome. Just watch that.
I've never seen E.T. or Top Gun either.
You watched Selena and talked about that on the podcast.
Yeah.
I watched an episode of Selena, and I stopped after that because it just wasn't good.
And you shouldn't have done that in the first place. You should have watched Back to the fucking Future and The Expanse, by the way.
Yes.
And Man on the High Castle. We're going to slowly just keep adding shows to his list, and it's going to be like, he's basically turning into the Captain America meme. He's like, no, I don't think I will.
Yeah, you are that meme, dude. Speaking of The Expanse, actually, it's called A Gift, that's true. I actually finished season 5 finally of The Expanse. It took me so long. It was like 4 months.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say much just because Adam hasn't started it yet, but it's good.
I'm taking away my Sunday night stream just so I have a day to watch something. I'm just going to stream Sunday afternoon just so I can have a few hours to at least try to watch something.
All right, what shows really like the last? Do you like to weed it out, or are you someone who like to marathon it all in one day?
I specifically waited for Expanse to finish so I could watch it all at once. I don't like waiting week by week. It's why when you guys keep watching like all the Marvel stuff, I'm like, fuck that shit. I'll wait till it's done. And then how many months has it been since WandaVision? And I'm like, I still haven't started that.
One.
Which is already one too many.
Yeah, that's one too many for an MCU show.
Oh man, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh man, this week's episode. Whew.
And you're still a dick for doing that. I don't even care if you say nothing. All I'm still is like, stop it. I know that I'm missing stuff. Shut up.
All I'm saying it was one of the best hours in MCU.
Don't say nothing. Wait, that's shit. I'm telling him to say something.
Don't say nothing. That's telling him to say everything.
I fucked it up. I don't know what it is with TV shows. I don't know why, but I seem to struggle with that specifically.
No, I get it. It honestly feels like a commitment, and the shows we watch.
I play long ass JRPGs. I can't complain about committing time.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
Commitment's just in the wrong spot.
I played the Trails of Cold Steel series. I can't bitch about a 1 hour showtime. You know.
With shows though, like the ones we usually watch, like the good ones, like The Expanse and WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier and The Boys. They require some level of focus. And a lot of times when I watch TV, I have TV on in the background with something that doesn't really require a lot of focus. That's just there for background noise, like Modern Family, The Office, and Parks and Rec. So when it comes to shows like this that actually have a deep story and ongoing plot line that you need to essentially focus on, it's tough to have that focus on, because at least in a 100-hour game or something, there's sometimes you just kind of like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't really affect a lot of the story. When it's a TV series, and when it's like those, each episode coincides with one another. So you kind of have to, and especially with shows with a media format like the MCU, everything is connected one way or another. Yeah. And that happened especially with WandaVision.
Oh, that picture of The Expanse is so fucking sick.
It's good.
Oh god, it makes me hard. Like I don't even.
It's
definitely such a good show.
It's definitely not the focus with me though. I think it's just literally the fact that like my brain is so geared that gaming always comes first that it's hard to reverse that and tell me no, you have to sit down and watch some TV.
Yeah, Yeah, like Vish, put into perspective this way. When me and Adam play certain games, like I just finished Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think it was 117 hours. That's 117 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Fair enough.
That's the thing.
It's-
I played all 4
it's a
Trails of
lot.
Cold Steel games. That's like 400 hours. That is a lot of
But does
TV shows.
Yeah.
Does every single hour affect the entire game, or is it just more?
No, but
to
my brain is
level up?
still laser focused.
Yeah, you still have to be
I get that.
focused because
But
you
what
still
I'm
have
saying
to do this
is,
stuff.
with shows, while it may be a smaller concentration than what you're used to, each installment, each hour affects the next one and is connected one way or another.
Yeah.
There's definitely some more focus on certain shows than, grinding out levels in a game for sure. The only thing is with the game, you cannot multitask. It's not like you can play the game but
Untrue.
also be on your phone.
I listen to
'Cause as soon as-
podcasts a lot.
unless you're listening to music or a podcast, I'll give you that because you can't do too visual focus.
Well, if it's the open world grinding,
Like, play a
there's
game
not a
and
lot
be
of
on your phone,
concentration required.
maybe.
It's more like hack and slash or like button mashing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I listen to podcasts all the time that's my RPG go-to. When it's time to grind levels, time to throw on a podcast. Usually this
I
one.
will use Ghost of Tsushima for example. I know Adam didn't like it, and I did. But with Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of the side missions, it's like they're not really story orientated. They're not really focusing on the story. They're more for like enhancing the skill set and the experience, and filling, where you essentially could play a podcast or have a TV show playing in the background. And frankly, it doesn't matter unless you're essentially button mashing or just following it through. There's nothing there that affects the overall story.
Yeah, side quests are perfect for music or a podcast or something.
Where I'll say actually
100%.
with Spider-Man, the OG Spider-Man, not the Miles Morales one, a lot of the side missions actually did affect the story. There was some of them where there was some of the side missions that actually were talking about Harry and his absence and what Harry's like as a person. Even though Harry's more of like an afterthought in the game, but it's like, oh shit, Harry is part of the game. Harry is there.
Yeah.
Do you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Totally get it. Yeah. Totally.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like with that's what I'm saying. With shows, while they're not that much time, they do require more concentration because of the connection between each episode to another.
Very much so. That is true.
Sorry if I feel
I'll
out of
give
it
you
for
that.
a moment here. I've realized during the course of the show that, like, I guess because of the new computer being completely set up again, that some things are being changed around in Streamlabs. So I'm like, Chris is slightly entrenching on my fucking camera feed, which is like very douchey of
I
him.
noticed a little bit of a glitch there.
Yeah, I've been slowly trying to deal with it. And it's not cooperating sometimes the way that I like it to. Because what would the fun in that be? Why are you still... Oh, that's the wrong...
Glitch.
I'm figuring it out.
BFG.
I think.
No, I was doing the reboot.
Did I do
glitch.
this? What if I...
It's still not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, well, I'll figure it out as we go. But either way, yeah, no, I don't have too much of a problem with shows. It's just every time that I try to sit down, my brain just immediately goes, I really just want to play a game.
It's also, games are an interactive experience where shows are just like you're not doing anything.
You're just
Yeah, it's
thinking.
just-
Yeah. Yeah, I love when people tell me the old thing where it's like, oh, like, why do you play so many video games? Or like, oh, when are you going to grow up and not play games? And it's like, when are you going to stop watching movies? Because I'm playing an interactive movie that I'm actually using this.
I was thinking about that
Using
one
this.
Bollywood bimbo. The one time we were talking about it that one day, and when I was like, "Don't you just watch TV ever?" And I'm like, so sitting down watching fucking TV and toxic Bollywood stereotypes is better than playing a game that is a fun experience and actually requires more brain power? Really?
Yep.
Really?
You know what, Vish? I'm going to give you an incredible compliment right now. You play Brick Breaker, and that's annoying because why the fuck are you still playing it? However, you are above every single person on the planet choosing to play Brick Breaker instead of watching something like fucking Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Every other human on Earth is below you, even when you're playing Brick Breaker. Because of that.
Fuck.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could always be worse.
Well, Brick Breaker's still.
Dude, and anything is above the Kardashians. Literally anything. Anything.
I don't know.
Yeah, you could take.
I'd still prefer Kardashians over death, I guess. I mean,
Adam, would you prefer? Okay.
Yeah.
What would you rather do? Play Super 4 or sit through the entire 20 seasons of the Kardashians?
Sorry, repeat it because you lagged a
what's the
tiny
game?
bit there.
What, play Superman 64?
Oh, Superman 64. Come on.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because at least I can make fun of that. Also,
Wait, do I have
Superman
to play it for
64
20
isn't that
seasons worth in
long.
length? Yeah, like, do you have to keep playing it for 20 seasons worth?
No, you either finish the game.
Oh, that's fucking easy. I can
you
just
can't
cheat.
finish it.
I can cheat code that shit too.
No
I
cheat
don't
codes. You have
know.
to play
You
it
didn't
with
say
it.
that before, so that doesn't count. No. You can't
Yo,
suddenly.
you never mentioned cheat codes.
You can't suddenly change the thing after I've already
Okay.
answered.
Rewind.
We already established we don't have a
play.
DeLorean.
No, we're not.
I'm
We're just
not gonna
rewinding.
lie, if it
The
Yeah.
VOD already exists.
VCR rewinding. VCR rewinding.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Adam, would you rather play Superman 64, legitimately no cheat codes from beginning to end, or watch all 20 seasons of the Kardashians?
I'm from the future. I'm not falling for this.
We rewinded with
I'm
a
not gonna
VCR.
lie.
I'm from
If
the
I had-
future.
No, you're not.
I know that if
Vish is
the
like,
actual
no, you're
game-
not. This has become the
taking this
childish
very
podcast. That's what the C stands for on this one.
I am rubber
Very
and you are
childish
glue.
rants.
Yeah, probably.
Hi, VCR, I like it. Yeah, if I actually had to beat Superman 64 or watch all of the Kardashians, I might have to choose Kardashians because I know that the Superman 64 choice is for life because I could never beat it legit without codes. Or it'd probably be faster just to watch the Kardashians and be done.
So this is Chris's last episode. Let's all say goodbye to him.
I can't play Superman 64 for the rest of my life. I can't
No,
do
you
it.
have to finish it
can't.
once. Either play it.
Yeah, it's
once.
impossible to finish. It's impossible. Okay, I played an emulator of it once. I got to level 2 or 3 when you're supposed to like get the cars or something, and I could not do it. What the fuck is this?
I'm having too much control on the picture
What
side.
was that image?
Don't worry about it.
What was that image?
So, like, that was the one. I think they were actually planning on making a Superman game after Arkham Asylum, but it never came into fruition. Like, it wasn't great, but Superman Returns, the video game, was actually not terrible. It was playable. It just was horribly repetitive, and the soundtrack was actually pretty solid in that game as well.
Yeah.
There was and they had one Superman villain, which I really feel should be the main villain in the next movie because he was a worthy adversary and actually is legitimately a good villain to have in the beginning, which is what's it called? Metallo. Like, they actually had Metallo in that game, and Metallo is a good villain to start off a Superman series with, whether it be video games or movies. And he's quite underutilized. I think this was the missed opportunity that Batman vs Superman had.
Yeah,
That's a true point.
Because it's I don't know, man. It's just DC is such a
Fuck,
clusterfuck.
my elbow. Ah,
Not if you
Oh.
paid me.
live stream. Why? Also, won't be edited out anyways. Ow.
One thing, like, not our stuff related, but so you guys have I don't think you have, but Chris, you have watched Kim's Convenience, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it finished its final episode, I heard.
Yeah, so last night was actually its final episode. I didn't realize it. I've been watching it because I really enjoy the show, but it turned out it was the final episode. I'm not happy.
I'm
just was
assuming it's like a bittersweet happy, not like a pissed off
not
happy.
even. It felt so incomplete. It felt so like, what is this? Like, this is such a good show. This is not how it's supposed to end.
It was
Like,
just the writers wanted to leave. Is that what it was?
The producer and the director, like the two head people, which is ironic because Appa, the main guy in the show, the gentleman in the middle, the bald gentleman, he actually started this, and this was a play that he created. And the show
I didn't
was
know
based
that.
off this play.
It pretty much is kind of like the same way that like Corner Gas got started too. It was a guy's vision to start it up, and then they just got it kind of all together, and then here it is, and it ended up being a pretty popular thing up here in Canada. So,
And honestly, in my personal opinion, I liked it better than Schitt's Creek. Maybe because I found it more relatable, being a first generation immigrant and everything. And when
it's very Toronto too. I loved how it's so Canadian. Like Schitt's Creek actually takes place, I think, in the States. It's a Canadian show.
No. It's fully takes place in Canada. Like it's Canadian and everything. And they talk about Toronto and everything. It's not. There's nothing about it that's American-esque except for
this
like,
one or Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek. Schitt's Creek's fully Canadian.
No, I know it's fully Canadian, but I think the town they're in, it's implied that it's in the States because they're talking always about going to New York and going to California.
Yeah, that's where they want to go because that's the lifestyle they live. But the show and everything.
Oh, okay. They were living in Canada.
Canada based.
Oh, okay.
And even
I didn't know. Yeah.
There's no reference or anything unless they're traveling. Did you finish it yet or no?
Schitt's Creek, yes.
Okay, so yeah, like in the last episode, I don't know if they went to Toronto or the last few episodes.
It was in Toronto, but wasn't that?
I think it may have been based in New York.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we're going to New York, but it was just like the CIBC building in Toronto or something. Like it was.
But it's this one. I definitely felt a lot more of the Canadian immigrant culture because again, and I love the fact that
it better be if given the cast that they have. That would be really fucking weird if it wasn't.
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of people pretending to be just spoiled like white like suburban people. Actually, that'd be kind of funny now that I think about it. That might actually be entertaining.
It would be satire, I think. They could do it.
It would just be it would just be a movie full of Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunders.
Yeah, you see the guy in the middle. That's actually Eugene Levy.
Oh, what would the odds be of it not being Eugene Levy? Come on, that's like the most Canadian there is.
Canadian legend, right?
Honestly, it's not like it ended in a sense of completion. Like it just ended. It's like I honestly think they need to bring it back for one 2-hour movie. Just
just do like a fun kind of closure thing.
I hope they do.
Even if they don't, like it sucks, but at least like they're ending on like the highest of highs, whereas so many shows end up just fizzling out and just like dying a really painful death.
No, I know, and it's like there's plenty that I can mention off the top of my head. Friends, How I Met Your Mother, The Office, Scrubs, they all ended. And
totally not like one of the biggest names out there recently, Game of Thrones. Nobody remembers, the pain from that.
That is like the worst season of television I've ever seen.
More like the best season of television ever because I got to watch every fan that wouldn't shut the hell up for the entirety of that show just lose their collective minds. It was the best.
Because how do you fucking... No, I don't even want to
It bothered me a lot, just because it didn't feel like a season finale.
What, for Kim's convenience?
Felt like another episode.
Yeah, for Kim's convenience.
Yeah, but
also for Game of Thrones.
I guess I'm not familiar. Like, is it a show that has like a really like heavy storyline to it, or is it more like kind of like a lot of shows where there's like a central storyline for that episode, but that's it?
There isn't really. There's like each character has their own storyline going on.
But I imagine most episodes, it's more just like that's the big thing they tackle this week, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there's like some overlay.
So it's not like there's a lot of loose ends. It's just more like it just stopped.
So there's
it's just like it just ended, I bet. Yeah.
The positive thing about it ending is there's going to be a spin-off for Shannon, the lady on the right, the one who's not Korean. And it's actually taking place in Hamilton, which that's the big reason I think I'm excited about it because frankly, our city.
Thanks for doxing us.
My city. It doesn't.
The rewind function doesn't work. We established this.
I didn't rewind. It was a stutter step.
That's worse.
It doesn't get highlighted very much, and if it does, it gets highlighted very unflatteringly. I'm hoping that in this show they'll actually show like Hamilton's not just Jackson Square and Barton Street. Hamilton has a lot of beautiful greenery. Hamilton has a amazing art scene. Hamilton has a fantastic restaurant scene. I hope they can showcase that. Yeah. Because that's the one thing, that's the only good thing about the cancellation that I am seeing, that I'm looking at it. Because honestly, Hamilton has a lot more to offer than I think people realize. Everyone looks at it as the shit town that it was from the 90s, and that's what they still think it is, and it's not. So that's the one thing.
Sure. But I mean, like our city aside, because I don't think most people who probably don't even live in the same country as us even care about what our city's doing. So
yeah, fair enough. It's not Toronto or Ottawa.
I just think
Montreal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you said Hamilton, they'd think, oh, the play.
What?
Yes, it would be the play for sure. There is one good thing I can think of.
Said the plague.
Yes, the plague.
I mean, would it be that? No, never mind. Moving on.
One good thing, I'll just throw this in, that I do think about this show ending, and it has nothing to do with it ending, but one good thing is that a lot of the actors from this show I've been seeing in big things. So Appa, he's in The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Jung, he is going to be what the heck is the character's name in the MCU?
I'm looking forward to that.
Shang-Chi. And do you know Mr. Mehta from the show?
Yeah.
Indian guy? Is that his last name? Mehta?
Mehta, yeah.
Mehta? Okay. He was in Expanse season 5. He had a big part in the Expanse.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw him. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, of all the people, also, his accent isn't real.
Oh, I know. Even
yeah, of course.
Most everybody. You know what also isn't real? Your internet connection, because your webcam is way laggy again. It's just loving you today. That's two big ones already.
Appa
and I'm gonna try and
they have full Canadian accents. They don't have Korean accents.
Oh god, it's all screwed up. Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Doing a quick reset. It's probably
live streaming. Yay! Every time the audio version of a podcast comes out, I'm sure people are listening to the audio version, being like, "What is happening on this show?"
So, Chris, I don't know if you heard me, but Appa and Uma, they don't have Korean accents. They're full out Canadian.
Yeah.
It's almost like people who may not look like the average white Canadian might still be like fully Canadian. What a shocking idea.
Know, right?
Man, I would have never thought of that. How would a guy like me think of that at all?
I know, right?
It is pretty jarring when Appa, though, came on The Mandalorian and he was basically like, yo, what's up? I'm like, what the fuck?
His character is he plays his character so well.
Yeah, he does. Like, he plays that accent off like so well. And then when he just speaks normal, you're like, you're
Appa?
Cool. Appa? You're flying a fucking X-Wing and being all cool right now. What's happening? I'm very confused.
Oh, confused, you say. That's a segue. I got something fun to talk about. And by fun, I mean, what the fuck?
Oh, okay.
So,
hot take or...
What?
Hot take?
No. I said speaking of confused. So I played a game, and I finished a game, and confusion was a big central part of it because Chris knows as someone who just recently finished Myst that sometimes puzzle games are just really fucking stupidly hard because you can't figure out a solution.
Yeah.
So that was Maquette, which is the free game that was on...
Oh, you played it!
Which was on last month, I think, for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, last month. It's not still on. No.
And...
Was it for PS5 or PS4?
I think that was PS5.
I think that's a PS5 exclusive, yeah. Because it came out day of release.
The story was fine. Like, the story is, like, it's about, like, dealing with, like, a relationship in its entirety from, like, beginning to breakup to, like, getting over it. That's, like, the story that plays during the puzzles. The puzzles can be fucking hard. So the gimmick to this game is that in the middle of the map, there is this dome. And it's almost like a miniature version of the map outside is there. So if you place an object in the map, it makes that thing bigger in the real world. So it's almost like this different changing of sizes and like so it's like almost like you're shrinking in like Wonderland kind of stuff. So it plays upon this, and sometimes the puzzles are pretty straightforward, and then there's a couple where it's like it's so far out of the box that like I legitimately used the PS5 I don't know, can't remember what they call, but when you look up the guide and it has like the video that you can look right through the system, that they'll like no, not even YouTube. Like YouTube has their own, or not YouTube. Fuck. See, you got me screwed up. PlayStation has their own system where you can literally just hit the button and you can see like the current thing you're on. and you can click it and it'll tell you how to do it. Some places do it, some places don't. Chris knows what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I used it way more than I would have liked to, because some of those puzzles were just like, I stared at it being like, I know I'm not stupid and I'm still stupid here. This is really hard. Because like, I know it's some little thing that I wouldn't have thought to do. And as soon as I do it, like as soon as they tell me how to do it, I'd be like, it was either going to be one of two things. I'm either going to go, oh, I'm so dumb. But every single time it was, why would I have thought of that? So unfortunately, as much as I enjoyed the story of it, and it's pretty well done in the way that they structure that, the puzzles are fucking infuriating sometimes. And there's some pretty good music in it too. Like if you like indie music, there's some fucking sick music in this game too. And it's visually really gorgeous. Like it's beautiful to look at. It's just, it's like Myst. And you always leave hating it because it makes you feel like a dumbass.
Yeah, like what's happening?
Like you can see now for anybody watching the video feed, like that's all outside of the dome that you're currently standing in. So it's like you're playing in a dollhouse, and if you put the cube outside the dollhouse, it's bigger outside.
Yeah.
So with this game, is this like the perspective you play it as? This isn't like when you're zooming out and looking through a level.
No, this is all you first person. It never changes that. It's the only thing that changes is your own perception, because maybe you go out, because you can go outside the walls of these walls and it's even bigger.
And when something when something enhances in size, does it mean it's significant to the puzzle?
Yeah, that's literally every gimmick of the puzzle is usually having to do with some sort of size. Like there's a few things where it's like color coded things, but more often than not, like you'll see here, if the video goes long enough, the bridge is right now miniature. As soon as you put it on something, it grows, and that's how you cross a certain thing. So,
Okay, you know what? I got a funny story about something like this. So I was playing God of War 3, and something like this actually happened. So there's this one part. I almost beat the game in one day, but I got stuck on one part, and I got stuck on it and decided to stop playing it. Funny enough, that year, Chris and I were going to we're going out for St. Patrick's Day that year.
I mean, that year, every fucking year, except for the pandemic.
No, that was 2010. But the funny thing is I'm not joking. As we are having beer, as we are like completely loaded out of our minds, I thought of something where I realized, wait a second, if I turn something, will that create a pathway? I did that the next day, finished the game in an hour and a half.
Sometimes you
gotta be drunk.
Sometimes you get stupid brainwaves, like when you're not even playing the game. It just suddenly comes to you, and you're like, "Wait, I'm a fucking idiot."
I was just like, "Wait,
gotta walk away."
Was that it? And that was literally it. I was just like,
"Yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen in Maquette. It wasn't. Oh, that was it." No, it's more like, "Really, you thought I was gonna figure that out?" That's what it was for me for the most part. Like there were some of them where I'm like, dude, I'm pretty smart. I can't. How many people need to finish that game without a guide? Because there are some solutions that are just really
this
stupid.
Game, like it's not idiot proof. Like you can't really.
No, there's no hinting. You literally just have to figure it out.
Okay, even I'm wondering right now, like the video is showing, it's like, where does this go?
Like that's as simple. You leave it outside. You grab the tiny thing. It's some of them are easy enough that it's like, okay, I get an idea of what I'm supposed to do. And sometimes it doesn't work the way you want it to, but whatever, you figure it out as you go. There were a couple of them where by the end of it, I went, there is no God. I could spend 2 hours in this game. I would never figure that out. Sometimes it just, and that's why, like, I could never imagine playing a Myst game back in the day, because I would literally throw my computer out the window, and it wouldn't even be my computer back then. It would have been my parents, and it would have been grounded, and that would have sucked.
And the worst thing is, you wouldn't have been able to stream it either.
Well, definitely not back then. Yeah, let me stream on totally twitch.tv. I think it wouldn't even been justin.tv back then.
Justin.tv back then. Yeah.
And oh, sorry guys, the stream is going to cut out because I'm getting a phone call.
You would have had to have had your own
internet. I need to use the phone.
You'd have a local cable TV show like fucking Wayne's World where you play a game on that. You'd be on.
Yeah, the camera would just be on the TV.
With Adam the CRT Gray, lines going.
Anchor time, not so excellent.
Yeah, when playing Maquette, not so excellent. That's for damn sure.
I like it.
It's not bad. Like I enjoyed what little I played of it, and like Lisa was with me the entire time, and we enjoyed the story because it's a heartbreaking like relationship kind of story, right? So that part's cool, but it's just some of the puzzles was like like the first couple times that I struggled, and then I just gave up and started guiding it if I had no idea. Like I wouldn't give myself the chance to like get frustrated. I'm like, as soon as I had no ideas, I'm just like, guide, not wasting my time anymore, just guiding. Fuck it.
Yeah. I definitely play that with a guide because I looked at some of that and it was like beat this level in under 6 minutes, and I was like, I'm gonna get a guide for that.
Well, I think that's the beauty too of PlayStation 5 now with it having that system, so you don't even have to like turn, especially if you don't have a computer next to you, because I do, but like if you're just sitting on the couch, like now you can just hit the button and just it'll tell you right away. You don't have to bring up your phone, pull up YouTube, try to find the right video, scroll to the right spot. This thing was just like, oh, you're on this puzzle. Okay, here's the 3 steps you need to do it. I love that.
It actually they incorporated the cards, whatever they're called.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like the thing that you click on the screen to actually like it's developer done.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Because I love that feature, but since Astrobot and maybe Miles Morales even didn't.
I think most probably choose not to because most of the time your games don't require them. Like, let's be completely honest. Like, I don't think you need to know how to swing a sword at a guy.
No.
Puzzle games, it makes perfect sense.
Puzzle games, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Or even like finding secrets. Like, there's stuff like that. But like, realistically, like a puzzle game is the perfect format for something like that because it's so less stressful 100%. When you realize you don't have to spend minutes trying to scroll through a massive long play of a game to try to find that one spot.
Yeah. I definitely plan on playing that game soon. It may actually be the next game I play on PlayStation now that I'm done Valhalla and getting a platinum on it. But I will use the guide.
Yeah.
Did you? So for Valhalla, Odyssey was the previous one. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which so Odyssey was. Do you feel that was a superior title?
I feel like we talked about this last week.
Yeah, last week we kind of touched it.
Okay.
I think I said Odyssey is I like it more for the setting and everything because it's just such a colorful, bright, happy fucking place. But as an Assassin's Creed game specifically, I like Valhalla more because it's actually an Assassin's Creed game. Like you meet the assassins, the Templars are there, you get an assassin blade. In Odyssey, you don't even get the assassin blade.
Yeah, Odyssey is definitely the better game, but it's not really an Assassin's Creed game. It's just kind of there in name alone.
It should have just been fucking Greek Odyssey or something. Like just make a new IP.
It should have been just like its own game apart from the series.
Yeah, like
itself.
there's what's the one game that's trying to sort of be like Assassin's
Phoenix
Creed?
Rising?
No, Phoenix. Oh my god,
Phoenix. Immortals.
Thank you. That like it's something like it would have been better off like that. I don't think that it needed to be attached to the Assassin's Creed name because realistically, like apart from the tiny few instances where it does like bring up what's the real world girl that's like in it? Was it like Liana or something like that, or maybe?
Ezio.
It was definitely not Ezio.
No.
He was too busy punching the Pope.
Lydia?
Maybe it was Lydia.
I don't know.
I
This
can't
Pope
remember her
seems
name.
nice, but any other Pope, go for it.
Especially back then.
Yeah. I mean, the one Ezio did fight a Pope, so
Yeah. And that's like the best boss battle ever.
it was. The Borgia.
Was it challenging or
No. It was more just the moment.
Wait, was that Assassin's
was a
Creed
big
2?
Was it
Assassin's
2
Creed
or Brotherhood?
Brotherhood.
I think it was Brotherhood because I think that ended the whole
okay.
thing.
I don't think I played
2 you're
Brotherhood.
fighting the Borgia family.
We were
but
both in
it's
the right.
Brotherhood
We were
you
both in the
actually
right
get.
era. We both had L's, but it was Layla.
There was
Layla.
one boss battle in Assassin's Creed 2, and the guy comes up to me with a sword, and I'm like, I wonder if I should Indiana Jones it. So
Yeah,
I did
because you had the Da
wrist
Vinci gun.
Yeah.
the wrist gun, shot him, one shot dead, and I was like, oh, that was.
I mean, in actuality, that gun probably would have missed because Lord knows guns back then had 0 accuracy. But hey, we'll just chalk it up to just a really good lucky shot.
I think also with the bosses back then, in those Assassin's Creed games, they didn't even have a health bar. All the bosses you could take out with one hit kill as an assassination.
Yeah, and that
So
was
I
kind of the
always
beauty of it
liked-
because they weren't really
yeah.
boss battles so much as they were just like Like, this is the guy you've been waiting for, like, mission after mission to finally get your fucking claws into.
He's surrounded by like 50 guys, but if you stalk your way in there, you can
Or throw money on the ground and just watch the chaos.
Also, yeah, that was almost OP.
That was my favorite tactic.
Everybody would run, and it's like...
Despite the fact of how much I hate that game, like even Dungeons and Dragons, it is possible to kill a boss with one hit, depending on how you strategize.
So not me, because I have the worst luck in the world. You could put my luck stat and max it out as a character sheet, and I would still roll a 1 just to completely reverse it.
Rolls 40 d20s, gets 40 ones.
Yep.
Critical.
Adam, if you do that, please stream it.
I can't.
Swing your.
That would be the most amazing stream fail ever. Like, all right, I got this.
Would that be a stream fail though? Because that would go viral. Let's be honest. If I actually rolled if I live rolled 40 D1s, I would be on the front page of the D&D subreddit. 100%.
Yeah, no one would believe you. They don't think they're rigged die. They're all weighted. So
either way, it still makes the front page, and then it just becomes even more controversial because everybody's being like, "Was it real?" It's like the dress. Is it white and gold or black and blue?
The guy who wrote Game of Thrones was like, one more word about the dress, and Tyrion gets it.
Wow. To which I would have called his bluff just to claim, just to see what would happen.
Yeah, are you gonna really alter the story of the show you've worked so hard to write?
Now I'm definitely getting the DeLorean and using it just for that. And also gonna rewrite Vish and just kick him off the show. That'll probably be my first thing.
Rewrite like he's cool.
You're gonna use time travel to do those two minimal things.
Look, I'm pretty petty. I'm not gonna lie. You know,
you have something that could literally alter the way of history, and
I am not stupid enough to try to change history. I have watched enough movies to know that is a bad idea.
You go back and kill Hitler. All you ended up doing was creating Mecha Hitler. That's always what fucking happens. You can't do it.
I am not creating Wolfenstein. It looks fun, but it won't be if you don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
I know how to fight. I just don't.
BJ Blazkowicz or whatever the fuck his name is, that guy should actually be dead. Like, if you watch any of the scenes
I am the guy who makes the face of when you put the level "Don't hurt me, mommy" as the Doom level.
I love that. I love baby ass baby mode.
Well,
I don't know what the fucking like thing is with people in easy modes. Like, they're like, "Oh, it's not how it's supposed to be played." I'm like, well, they put it in the game, so I guess I can.
It's also,
sometimes you feel like a challenge, and sometimes you want the story. And
sometimes you just want to stomp the shit out of something.
And sometimes you're a fucking adult who has a job and a life and cannot be bothered with being rage-induced by your hobby.
If I want to be rage-induced, I'll just go play a Souls game. I don't have to try that hard. Or I'll go back and play Maquette.
Speaking of rage-induced, you guys want to hear what I've been playing?
Uh-oh.
Brick Breaker?
I mean, you stopped Madden, so we know it's not that.
Yeah, no, it's a lot harder than Madden. Because Madden was just like, I won the Super Bowl 63.
It's a different kind of frustration.
FIFA?
No. So I've been playing a retro game that was published by the same people who did Shovel Knight. It's called Cyber Shadow. It is like a modern, no, not modern, because it's a retro game. It's an indie game. Imagine Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's called Cyber Shadow. And it's a game that's very difficult, but it's just difficult enough that on my 16th try, I succeed and get to the next checkpoint. And it's like, fuck. I'm like one step away or one move away or one attempt away from giving up and uninstalling the game. And then I'm like, fine, I'll try one more time. I do it, and I get to the next checkpoint. I'm like, fuck, now I got to keep going. And oh my God, it is so fucking hard. I'm on chapter 7 of 10, and you can imagine it only gets harder as it goes.
What?
I'm watching this right now, and I love it, but I can tell, oh my God.
Oh, you can see the bullshit.
There's so much bullshit. Remember when you get hit and you get knocked back? That's this game.
Yup.
You get knocked back into one-hit kill spikes. There's no way to heal. There is health, but good fucking luck finding it. You find money. When you get to a checkpoint, the checkpoint you have to pay money to activate certain things. Like if you want all your not magic points, SP, which is if you throw a shuriken, it's 1 SP point, and you only have like 5 or 6. And if you want to throw a shuriken or do this upward slash where you have fire go up, or you want to do this dash attack that actually goes through enemies, it takes one of those SP points.
Dude,
you die and you go back to the checkpoint. You want to actually get your SP points back. You have to pay $50 to activate
by the way, Chris,
checkpoint
as
to
you're
get that.
watching this video, is this someone who's actually pretty highly skilled in this game?
This person's definitely been playing it, but I saw in the stream. Yeah, they're dead. So they've already died twice.
This looks like somebody who's played games, but it's still a game that's going to kick your ass regardless.
That person just died within 2 seconds from the checkpoint. But it kicks your ass no matter what.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, no matter what game you play, like even a speedrunner could walk into these games and have a hard time because it's learning, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is like you try a lot, and you have to do it over and over. But like the last one, I was doing it on Chapter 7. I worked on it for an hour today, and I still only got halfway into Chapter 7. If you were amazing, Chapter 7 is a 10-minute level. And there's only 10 levels in the game, so you could beat it in an hour and a half.
Let's see. Just to make Chris angry, how long does it take? How long to beat Cyber Shadow? So let's see how long it's supposed to take you. 15 to 20 hours.
That is just with deaths.
Now let's see the speedrun record for Cyber Shadow.
Yeah, somebody's going to be really good.
And let's see how angry Chris gets with it.
See
Wait,
that?
is this no? This isn't 100%. Hang on, any percent. So 100%, 1 hour 6 minutes.
What?
Yeah, like
that must be glitch finding.
No, it's 100%. It means no cheats, no finishing the game entirely.
If you just don't get hit,
oh fuck,
you're fine.
The any percent number one is 51 minutes.
Yeah.
This is kind of
often this guy in the video is dying from this giant laser. There's a giant laser that just fills the screen.
A little bit of
that's like some Quickman level shit.
Yeah, it's reminding me a little bit of Metroid and the Ninja Turtles NES game.
I'm sure it's by design. It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it does have some of those elements. There's no Metroidvania like going back. Actually, there might be, and maybe I just haven't found it. There might be going back to levels. You can go back. But I think it's more for achievements like beat this boss without getting hit, which, by the way, I said fuck it to every single one of those. I unlocked one special achievement for beating one boss under 60 seconds, and it was a fluke because I tried the boss 10 times and kept dying. And then I looked up, like, is there any way to do like a big damage to him? And there was this one thing where he's like, hey, when he hits you with this, you can go behind it and throw it back to him. And I mastered figuring out how to do that and ended up killing this boss in under 60 seconds and getting like a very rare achievement, which was pretty crazy.
That's when you know Chris hates a game so much, when he doesn't want to do the achievements for it.
Yeah, no, I just want you finish the game. Only 4% of people who've played this game have beaten it, according to the achievements. And this is on Game Pass, so it's not like people are even having to buy it. It's people who install it, probably get to level like 6, and they go, fuck that.
It's like, nope.
Actually, no, it is level 6. Because the achievement for beating level 7 has less than 10% of people that have beaten that one.
They should have an achievement for controller thrown and broken.
Yes, you know what that achievement's called? Going to the store to get another one.
Yeah, that's true.
You unlocked having to spend $70.
Yeah. When you actually, so I was on a level halfway into Chapter 7, trying to just it's checkpoint to checkpoint. You do not try to beat a level in one go. It's just survive to the next checkpoint, then you're good, because then at least from that point you die, you're there. I spent all evening after work before the podcast when I went I went for a walk with my dad, but either way, I probably spent an hour trying to get to the next checkpoint in Chapter 7 over and over and over, and it was not easy. It was very hard, very frustrating. I kept dying. It was Chapter 7 is when it just ramps up, where there's stuff all over the screen. You get 6 hits, some stuff hurt you for 2, 3 hits and you're dead. You're back to the checkpoint. I was so frustrated. I was about to uninstall the game. I was actually at the point where I'm like, I need to get rid of this. This is not okay. I'm like, try one more time. What happens? I get to the next checkpoint, flawless, not a single hit on me. And the thing is, that happens, and you're like, fuck, the more I play, the better I get. I
Yeah,
can't
now you
uninstall
think
it. I have to
you're suddenly
continue.
really good at it. So you're like, all right, I can do this shit now. And then you get to the next level, and it's like, nope.
No, I spent the next half an hour trying to get to the next checkpoint. Couldn't do it. Gave up. Went for a walk. Came back. Played Fall Guys with you guys. Like, but I'm going. I have to keep going back. There's only 10 chapters. I'm about to finish chapter 7, and like that's only 3 more levels. Like I can't give up. I have to do it. I have to. But
It
it's
definitely looks like
fucking
a lot of
hard.
fun, but yeah, it's going to be
It's
the
so much
No,
frustrating.
I'm liking what I see, but I feel that with my current emotional state,
You play Brick Breaker.
especially
Shut the fuck up. That doesn't count.
This is
doesn't
easier
matter
than
with
Brick
the
Breaker.
pandemic, with the lockdown, and everything. I don't know, dude. I'm looking at it
Says
right
the guy
now.
who plays Brick Breaker.
Did that guy
Oh,
just destroy the laser? You can destroy the lasers? Oh my fucking god.
Chris just had a revelation.
Oh, that
I'm
was
going to turn
level
the
4.
footage off now so I don't anger Chris further.
That was level 4. Do you know how long I just spent avoiding the lasers, not trying to actually just shoot one? Oh, fuck me. Stupid game.
Oh, man.
Anyways, that's been my frustration. It's a lot of fun though. If anybody doesn't mind hard games, like it's fantastic.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I know there's a
it's
couple
like-
people I follow that have actually 100% of the game, which includes beating the whole thing without dying once and beating it to certain points without killing a single enemy. So it's doable, but
You have to
not
play it
doing
a
that.
lot.
yeah,
There's
and
a
I
lot
just
of
wanna
hours that
beat
people
it.
put into those for that level. That's why, like, when you watch it like a couple times a year, like GDQ or something, like it's amazing to watch. But every time I watch them too, I go, I don't love a game enough to learn it that much.
I'm just in it too much now that I have to. I just have to. Which is funny because the other game I'm playing on
Chris-
Xbox is Haven, which is so much different. It's so easy, it hurts. It's just a love story, which is a little too sexual.
Chris, you're like Donnie Brasco right now. You've gone in too deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the reference. I'm Captain America in most of these, apparently.
Donnie Brasco's the movie where Johnny Depp plays a mob informant, and he ends up being like
don't
more
think I haven't seen
relatable
it.
to the actual.
I don't know what
mob
movie
than
we're talking about.
Donnie
Yeah, I don't know if it's-
Brasco.
Oh,
He's
well,
never
yeah,
seen
I
it.
definitely don't know.
I understood that reference.
Wait,
Yeah,
did we do a Flying Monkeys thing? I missed it.
I'm not gonna
Evil,
talk about the
evil
game
monkey.
Haven. I'm not going to talk a lot about the game Haven, but I want to say one thing from another game I'm playing. Haven was one we saw last year during E3 and stuff. It's a couple on like a stranded on another planet, and they can glide around the world, and they hold hands as they glide and stuff like that. It's like a love story exploration, little bit of battle game. They're in love, and I get it, but you can tell it's aimed at people who are like teenagers or early 20s, and they're like lovesick, and relationships are like all they think about. Everything in the game is about like them being in love and romantic.
Yeah, I
and,
got the
like,
sense from the design of it that I'm like, yeah, this is probably not going to be for me.
Yeah. So I'm playing it just as a relaxing game. One cutscene, they're in the bed, guy and girl are in the bed, and the girl goes, and there's always a cutscene when you go to bed. Not sex, but there's a cutscene. The girl goes, "Can we switch sides? You have 2 options. This is a trap or okay." I was like, why would this be a trap? So I hit okay. They switch sides. The guy goes, "This side's sticky." She goes, "Yeah, next time be more careful." End of cutscene.
Oh, so she's a bitch.
What the fuck? I was like, I'm trying to repair a ship. What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck? Yeah. Also, I think the girl's voice
What
might
is
be
this on? Is it
Clementine
on
or something.
PC or is this on PlayStation?
I think it's on
I'm playing
everything.
It's on everything. I'm playing it on Game Pass. It's my game to calm down after Cyber Shadow because it's like ridiculous easy.
He says
and they're
after he
more
gets
just-
frustrated during cutscenes.
Well, I mean, like, what the fuck was that cutscene? Like, did you guys just talk about fucking sperm in this game? Like, what the fuck is sticky? Why was this there? Why?
PG-13.
This was it PG-13?
I mean, we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because that was like, I was so frustrated from Cyber Shadow, and then that happened. I was like, I gotta stop playing Game Pass right now. I think I just need to close off my Xbox. What the fuck? Oh,
Well, you know.
Joel, have you been playing anything?
Actually, I I installed Zombie Army 4 because I feel like that's a game I'm going to actually thoroughly enjoy because I love zombie games.
Yeah.
I really haven't been gaming much.
Speaking of zombie games, you know what did get announced today?
Which one?
Switch is
Announced
getting a
today?
House of the Dead remake.
Oh,
Wait, really?
Yeah. Give me 1 second
did
to
I
pull
miss
that
that?
trailer up.
please.
Was this on that Nintendo Indie Showcase?
One thing that did also get shown today, the new Ninja Turtles game coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a gameplay trailer, I think.
Yeah, that was on
and
the Nintendo
Oh
Indie
my
Showcase,
god,
yeah.
it did that make me get excited because it legitimately was like old school
Oh yeah.
Ninja Turtle gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
Switch is indeed getting a House of the Dead remake. It's keeping all the original voice acting, thank God, because that is the actual charm of the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have you guys ever seen the movie?
No, I do like not hurting myself.
I didn't even know there was a movie.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was a UA Bull one.
So I remember, yeah, it was.
Oh, was it?
Let's
Okay, well
just
then
say
that
this.
explains everything.
I watched it in theaters, and when I went to theaters, the guy said, "Just to let you know, there's a half-hour return policy."
Yeah, that should be your first sign.
We just
You know what?
watched-
I'll just do that now then.
we just ended up. We watched it, and I'm just like, I left the theater. I'm like, wow, that was terrible.
Better than sitting at home doing nothing, maybe.
But it was still it was I would say it was fun terrible. It wasn't like Avatar: The Last Airbender where you
Oh, yeah.
fucking left the theater.
What?
pissed.
Everybody loves that movie.
No.
Okay, so
No
like I
God,
said,
dude.
I watched it after I saw the after I saw it first like with Chris and everybody, and I was still pissed off. Like that was just absolute garbage, and the 3D was not worth the 3D surcharge.
Yeah, like
Because
Suicide
of that-
Squad was a bad movie, but we at least had fun watching it.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
I watched the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then I watched the movie again, being like, "Oh, I wonder. Let me just see." It was worse without watching with watching the source material and watching that movie. It was worse than or when I originally watched it, and it was horrendous when I first watched it. Because Avatar: The Last Airbender is honestly one of the best shows ever made, animated or not. Like it was so great that I was upset when it was over because I just didn't know what to do. It's probably my. I know it's a significantly older show, but it was probably my favorite thing I've watched all year so far, and I don't know what's going to top it right now. Even with like The Boys season 3 coming out, even with like
The Expanse,
possibly
High
Brooklyn
Castle.
Nine-Nine.
Loki obviously is coming too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
And that's
okay,
not even
maybe-
counting all the movies too. Like we got Mortal Kombat next week coming up.
Oh, Mortal
Holy
Kombat's next week.
I think it's the 23rd. But so like not quite next week, but you get the idea. Like it's basically
Oh
on
my
its way.
god.
That theme
Okay,
song.
so what do you
Oh.
guys think of the new theme song?
That's what I listened to that on repeat for an hour.
I haven't even listened to it yet because I was like, I'll wait
dude.
when it's in the moment in the movie because that's when I'd rather do it.
So I'll give you some context for it, Adam.
I don't want context. I want to just hear it for the first time.
Okay.
I mean,
What
all I
context
need
could
to
you
tell,
give?
like,
Context.
like I know it's probably not better than the original, but is it at least like decent, or is it just like
Oh, very. I listened to it for an
it's
hour.
Quite similar.
okay?
I listened to it for. I left my car to go drive through McDonald's, and I listened to it in my car on the way because I didn't want to stop.
Yeah.
The original is obviously better because it's just got that ridiculousness to it.
Iconicness.
It's
Yeah,
all.
and
It's also
iconicness.
got like the announcer kind of saying it in the background,
Yeah.
like giving all the
No,
names. Like you
that's
get all
there
that.
too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the new one is it's the older
Not
song,
as much, but it's there.
but-
Because
and they
the way
kind of
because I saw an
modernized it.
article about it and people were be like the way that it was talked about in an article made me think like they just did a whole new song. So
No. It's definitely
it's a new song
reminiscent
and
of
the old
OG.
song.
so it's kind of a hybrid then.
It's a hybrid, I would say.
The only thing, just don't lower your expectations for it. I will.
What
say.
for the song?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
'cause
Don't go in.
that-
It's
that
not
was the
Oscar
other
worthy
thing
if
I
that's
was-
what we're.
Like that was the other thing I was thinking about the other day. It's like a lot of theme songs aren't as iconic as they used to be. Like I was playing the Tim Burton soundtrack the other day,
Oh yeah.
and I was thinking about like how the Batman theme and that is so awesome, so iconic that like you look at Batman and you kind of think of that theme. It's like da-da-da-da-da, like you think of Batman when you hear that theme.
They don't make
And now-
themes anymore. They do a bit, but like
The
most
only-
movies don't even have them.
Nowadays, the only one in recent history that I can say that really stands out to me as an iconic theme is the Avengers one.
Yeah.
And that one took some time to
mine's
actually
Wonder Woman.
establish itself.
I mean, they have to replay that theme so many times. It better have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That was
like,
their
when
Star
the
Wars
first
theme,
time-
right?
It's also the only theme in the MCU. They don't
so-
have another theme song.
The Star Wars theme is arguably the greatest theme ever made. It's not my favorite by all means, but it's like you hear it and you think Star Wars, you hear it and it's like universally recognizable.
It's pretty hard to not know what that song is, even if you've
Yeah.
never watched the film.
Pretty much all
Exactly.
of John Williams, man. Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. Right
John
there,
Williams
just
literally
those four.
is like the film version of video game music because he has so much
Yeah.
emphasis on melody.
Yeah,
He is
but it's like
a
for
godsend.
the Avengers theme, like I would say it wasn't until Infinity War that it really established itself as an iconic theme.
Well, but it also had time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest, back in the day when Star Wars came out, no one was looking at that music as like it was the iconic theme. It took years for it to stay as the iconic theme.
Yeah.
So it's like anything else. It just takes time for it to hit that status. It's
Also,
a
back
good
then,
track.
All movies had a theme that started a movie.
Yeah.
It was just how you started a movie. Normally,
Like
there was
as
credits
a
and theme.
kid, we all watched the X-Men cartoon and thought the intro was badass. We didn't know that 20 years from now we'd all be like, that's still fucking badass.
Yeah.
And even like I was saying, it's like I find a lot of times nowadays like that theme song, that like iconic, impactful theme song, just isn't there as much anymore. In the MCU, like I've listened to many of the soundtracks, and I found the only ones that actually had legitimate themes, and there's three of them: Captain America, the original one, what's it called? Captain Marvel actually has a really good theme song, and also Doctor Strange. Those are the only three that I noticed actually had an iconic / recognizable theme song.
I can't even picture them in my head or hear them, what they are.
Yeah, I
If
know.
you
It's literally
Avengers,
just the
yes.
Avengers theme.
Avengers, I can, but not a single
You
other
can
one of
kind
the
of do it
MCU
with
movies.
like the Spider-Man theme from the games now because again, it's got a melody emphasis. But
The
Yeah.
Spider-Man games have theme songs, and they are fantastic. The theme song from the, I think it's just called Spider-Man, I guess, whatever.
Yeah,
the
just
first
the
one,
first
the
game.
non-Miles Morales, fantastic.
yeah, it's great.
Well, that
Fantastic.
one,
And the one for Miles Morales, too, actually.
No,
It's-
Which I still
probably
got to
like
get
that one.
around to because someone won't console share with me.
the
Vishal, why won't
Jaden
you do it?
song,
Yeah,
because I'm a dick.
that's fair.
The
Yeah, he's gotta
Jaden
play.
song that is in Miles Morales is actually a really good song. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoy that.
Oh,
one.
yeah. See, why can't they do that in the movies?
That's that's one thing I think is missing a lot from movies is an iconic theme song because it's just not there.
I don't know if every movie needs it though, because movies are more meant to be atmospheric than I think anything else. So it makes more sense to have have music that just complements what's going on, because you also don't want to
Like-
distract.
Guardians is different because Guardians just has a legitimate like old school soundtrack.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but what I mean,
like-
like, I don't think you're going to see like Star Wars themes as much anymore because I think now because of the emphasis on just atmosphere, especially now that we have theaters with the surround sound and everything else. Like, I think it's more important that it gets you focused, and rather than like, I guess like amazing theme music can still happen, and it probably will still happen in some bunches, but it's not nearly as much of a requirement. And obviously, a lot of composers now aren't really leaning that way either.
No.
Yeah, like
I'm not gonna lie, I miss it though. Like the Wonder Woman theme, I actually really like whatever
Me too.
that is. Like it's weird because it's not just like typical music, right?
It also doesn't help too
Yeah.
because it's easier for a company or a studio, I should say, to just pay a music like a label just to be like, here, give us these songs, so we don't have to do any extra work.
yeah.
Yeah, like
And
Guardians.
so,
mean-
the last another theme song that I can say in recent history that's recognizable is the Pirates of the Caribbean one
Oh,
because you hear that you think
yes.
of Jack Sparrow.
Disney,
Yeah,
go
see?
figure, right?
Yeah, Disney. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna call it now. When they bring X-Men into the Marvel universe, fucking slightly remix the '90s cartoon X-Men theme and somehow make that the theme of the X-Men whenever they're on
I
screen.
mean, they own
They
Fox, so they
actually-
should
you
have
know
the
what?
license to do it
They,
now.
yeah, no, I was
They
gonna say
have to.
Adam's right. I was gonna say they actually might be there. They might and they'll be able to do that.
And that's going to
I
be pretty
just
exciting
realized
too,
that.
right?
Oh
Like,
my
I
God.
would love to have the ability to see like a proper like X-Men in the Disney MCU universe now. So we have like an actual like run. Because I mean, Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, I should say, both combined, like they're still amazing for what they were back in, you know, the time that we spent through it, but it still didn't feel quite like a full Avengers team. There was still stuff missing. Obviously, Fantastic Four's not there, X-Men's not there.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like that like whole portal scene.
Oh no, I'm
made
not
me
saying
feel
it
like,
wasn't bad. I'm just
oh,
saying like it
Thanos,
still felt
you
like there was
fucked
stuff missing.
now.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Oh, I get
Wolverine
that.
didn't walk
Like, can you
out
imagine
through a
how
portal.
much more amazing it would be with like, obviously you're not going to get Hugh Jackman now, but like if Hugh Jackman had also walked out in there, gave a little line in there, Deadpool came out and did a little bit like, or, you know, actually at the end of the movie, Deadpool's in there, be like, hey guys, where'd everybody go?
I hope
He's
Ryan
like, sorry,
Reynolds can
I
play-
was taking a long burrito shit. I missed where were you guys going?
I hope Ryan Reynolds can play Deadpool forever, but it's just
I
like,
mean, given the makeup and the mask, I think he could if he wanted to. He could go
Yeah.
another 10, 15 years.
They could
'Cause
even
it's
do it
like-
where he's only in the suit.
That's
It's
true.
somebody else, but he voices him because he can
Yeah.
use his voice for the next 40, fucking 60, 80 years. I don't know. However long
Because,
humans
like,
live.
I can't think of anyone like when you hear Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, it's like
That makes sense.
I can't think of literally anyone
I
else. Like,
can't help but think of the Green Lantern when I hear Deadpool, though. It's a real problem.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Adam does not exist.
Wait, speaking of which, did you guys see that Ryan Reynolds just watched Green Lantern for the first time like a month ago?
That was smart of him to avoid that for so long.
And he live tweeted himself watching his own movie for the first time. And at the end, he was like, eh. It was like,
That sounds about
typical
right.
Ryan Reynolds. It was like, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. But I do still commend this person, this person, and this person, because I think this part was really good. And it was like, okay, I see what he's doing. He's throwing out props where it's due, but he also acknowledges like it
So-
wasn't.
It was kind of crap.
It shouldn't exist.
What apparently Zack Snyder, he got full control over the Snyder cut. Wait, no, I'm sorry. He got full control over Justice League, not the Whedon cut. And it came out to such an amazing product that it's just showing. It's like, hey, studio execs, fuck right off. Let the artists do their job. Let them have control because they're making it for the fans.
They
How
know what
much-
they're doing because they're a fan
Yeah.
themselves.
Well, that's what they were saying. It's like with Kevin Feige, you have one guy, and actually, speaking of Kevin Feige, one thing I watched this week just because I wanted to watch it, and I didn't have high expectations. It wasn't horrendous, but it wasn't amazing. It was there was a time in the late 2000s or mid late 2000s where Marvel was making animated movies. They made an Iron Man movie, they made a Doctor Strange movie,
Yes.
they made 2 Avengers
Two
movies.
Avengers movies, those were fantastic.
Yeah, that was like that fight between Hulk and the Avengers was so good.
Yeah.
And they made a what's it called? They made a Thor movie, Thor: Tales of Asgard, where Thor's a teenager.
Oh, is
I
that from
watched
the same
that.
era? That's from like late
Yeah.
2000s? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was 2000, came out in 2011 actually. So I watched it. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. Thor was a moody, cocky teenager.
Oh, that
It's
look
like-
doesn't look great to me. Oh,
No, it doesn't. Are you?
Ugh.
Yeah, that was Thor.
Oh, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guess
God.
a spoiler alert: Mjolnir never shows up.
so
Well,
it's not.
wait, that
So I'm gonna canonically claim that that's not Thor.
Yeah.
I
So
feel like, and also, Vishal, when you're telling me this, I was like, wait a minute, Thor ages really slowly because they live for like 500,000 years. If he's
Yeah.
a teenager, doesn't that mean he's like 300,000 years younger than he currently is?
maybe.
By the way,
but also
Chris,
one-
in the picture, does he not look like Terry Bogard from King of Fighters without a hat?
Holy fuck. It is, you've ruined, I can't watch this ever.
Adam,
if
can
I
you put
planned
that
on
up,
it, I
please?
can't.
Okay, I'll do
Put
that in a
that up.
minute.
But it's
God.
it actually wasn't a bad idea for a Thor origin movie. I just don't like the idea of a teenage angst Thor, because I'm just over the whole teenage angst situation and being like, fuck my dad, I can do whatever I want, all that shit. It's like, yo, shut the fuck up, you're an idiot. We were all idiots back then.
Didn't that movie come out like 4 years after Spider-Man 3? Didn't we learn that angst is just not a good hero trait?
So it actually came out, it was made in 2009, but it came out in 2011 to coincide with Thor.
Jeez, look at Thor. Look at teenager Thor there.
Does it not look like him?
It's like him. It's totally him.
My point proven.
That is ridiculous.
It wasn't terrible. It actually was like, the one thing I did give it more props for, it was more mythology based than the MCU, because I find the MCU Thor is more technology and sci-fi based, whereas Thor as a whole is more mythological based. So that's the one thing I'll give it to it, which isn't really a big compliment, because frankly, we all love Thor. We all love Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic as it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is how Thor should have been the entire time. And also, there was clearly a lot of stuff that was left for a sequel that never came to fruition.
That's like every movie these days. They always try to set something up because you never know if it makes a hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you never know. It's been 10 years. Maybe it's time.
Those Marvel animated movies, though, they were actually great. Like the two Avengers movies were really awesome. The Iron Man one was really good. The Doctor Strange one is great. There was one of Black Widow and Punisher. That one wasn't.
Speaking of Doctor Strange, did you see that new toy that they put out for Doctor Strange?
No, I didn't see
they
this.
put out the you could get one of the time stone things, the like thing that he carries around his neck.
Oh, the necklace, yes. And what about it?
I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of it, because it was just recently shown off, but I'm having trouble finding a good picture of it.
I'm assuming it's either really great or really shit.
I mean, it looks like it's pretty cool if I can find the goddamn thing. But you oh, there it is. Yeah, there we go. Hang on, let me put that up on the stream. See, again, I'm so sorry to the audio people, because I feel like I'm leaving you guys out of stuff. But yeah, they were making one of the things that looks pretty nice.
That is pretty nice.
Oh, sick. How much is it?
Oh, let's see.
Halloween costume.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, $50.
Oh, wow.
That's not bad.
Made of pure
Not bad,
gold.
but I'm still not going to put the money into it.
No, but I mean, like, it's not as bad as you thought it could be. It could be so much worse.
Well, the Infinity Gauntlet is significantly more.
Yeah. Well, as it should be.
Yeah.
That has all the stones. This only has one. Got it.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to pay for all the stones.
Like half the universe.
Unless we're talking that Marvel vs. Capcom one where it was more like eggs.
It does not exist.
Nope.
Why you bring up?
Nope. It always exists.
No, it doesn't.
I feel like you're looking it up now.
Of course I am. Why would I not do that?
You're a monster. No, it's it's not great, but it's just, and also the fact that I didn't like the fact that he didn't have Mjolnir. It just didn't seem. Oh, for fuck's sake! I hate you.
It's so true. Oh, it's so.
It's
true.
like the beginning of the image. It's like what everybody thought your games used to look like when you were playing them as a kid, and what the games actually look like now. That's the meme.
Yeah.
The worst thing, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Sorry.
Infinite.
Yes. Like I love that series from the beginning. Like, I think that's what actually, like, that's what got me into becoming the person I am, into the nerd I am. And I also found that Infinite just looked incomplete.
I think now with Capcom being in a much better place, I think now would be a great time to try again and take a really good stab at it, because I think they could do a much better job of it now.
Yes. Yeah, they 100%. They're doing really well.
I will say, though, if they were to make another one, Capcom, I know that you have a lot of really random fucking guys in your roster, try with like the ones that make sense first, and then work on the wacky ones for DLC. Like Bionic Commando does not need to be in the game.
No.
Like work on the good stuff, and then we can worry about like just make a really good game of like I don't know, like 20 people, like 10 and 10, and then go from there.
That was like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, fantastic, balanced roster, good characters, good fighting mode. Everyone each had their own individual ending. Was absolutely very much replayable. It was a great game.
Well, because I know everybody's going to go back to 2 and be like, but look at how many there were back then. I'm like, yeah, but you'll also notice that like most people played like
legitimately
you notice that when people play the tournament version of that, it's almost always Morrigan is at least one of them. So like, is there really a massive roster, or is there like a few that you probably should use?
Yeah, it's like the new Smash Brothers. It's like there's 80 people, probably 20 of them are.
And we all know the Fire Emblem characters are the best one, and there needs to be more.
Okay, if you fucking do that, I'm going to be so upset. I never play as the Fire Emblem characters. They're so boring. They all are the same person.
Yes.
Sword guy.
Thank you for saying that.
Oh, sword guy. I'll be sword guy today. Oh no, sorry, I'm sword girl.
Like for me, like I will say this: the Capcom characters are actually better in Marvel vs. Capcom, but I am definitely, obviously, more of a Marvel fan, so I will go with the Marvel characters more.
Is that all the Fire Emblem characters and fucking? That's so many.
That's too many. That's probably not even all of them, because I think it's adding the new ones from Three Houses too. There's a lot.
Where with Smash Brothers, a lot of the JRPG characters are better than the traditional NES characters. But because I'm a bigger fan, I will go with the traditional NES characters like Link, like Bowser, like Mario. Like I will go and Samus.
It's nice to have the option, and obviously when you get these crazy ones, like it is pretty wild to have like Minecraft, like Steve in there, and also have Cloud and fucking Joker from Persona and Snake. Great. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just, again, we ask the same question: what happens when the next Smash has to come out?
Yeah, they can't.
It's
just this, and then they add to it.
I think Sakurai has actually said, like, this is probably it for him. Like, he's not going to do another.
I could see them doing a remaster of this game, as in just releasing it again with higher resolution and no other work. Maybe some DLC where it's a couple more characters, but that'll be it.
I think they need to take, like, a generation off. And, like, when the new, like, let's say whatever Switch 2. When Switch 3 comes out, advertise Switch 3 with Smash as its launch title.
Switches.
Oh, then you're good. Switches.
Switch X Series 500 360 XX.
The one thing I did.
There you go, Microsoft.
Microsoft buys Nintendo. Marvel, this is exactly what happens.
With
Nintendo Series
3, it did have a significantly smaller roster. But it was, again, a more well-balanced.
And that's the difference, too. You got to establish, like, what you want. Do you want, like, a pure fighting game, or do you want, like, a game that's for everybody? Because if you want to do Marvel vs. Capcom 2 again, you have to basically cut story, because there's no way.
No, keep the story.
What I mean is there's no way with a 60-character roster that you're going to be able to do a good story. It's impossible.
So that's why Smash Brothers Brawl is my favorite one. Because the roster was big, but it was balanced. Everyone was their own unique character, and the story mode was fantastic.
Oh yeah, the space emissary or whatever it was called.
And it wasn't
that was a lot of fun.
So I like the fact that you got to be different characters for each mission. It wasn't like, hey, you can be Link the entire time.
Yeah, it was smart.
Yeah,
but not every fighting game is going to be able to do that, because not every team has Nintendo budget.
Yeah. Also, the story was almost like, imagine Toy Story, where you start running and a toy from another toy, and that toy wakes up, and then now you play as that toy. Like, it's not like they had a lot of backstory or anything. It was just like you ran into certain characters, you switched to them, and you got to play as them.
Yeah, I mean, I think NetherRealm's kind of nailed down like about this character roster that you want if you want to have a good story where it doesn't get too far. Like whether it's Mortal Kombat or Injustice, I think they found about that right amount to start with if you're going to do a story mode. Like Marvel vs. Capcom, that's why I kind of look at it and be like, okay, guys, either decide if you're going to do like a stupid story and just have a short roster, or just go full-blown dumb and just be like 50 characters and it's just all about the fighting game. And don't worry about the story.
For example, in Smash Brothers Ultimate, Pichu is not necessary. at
Well, yeah,
all.
but they put everybody in. That was the point, right?
I get
Where was
that. It's just
Pichu in? Pichu was in Melee, right? Yeah. They've just taken every character they've ever made and threw them into the one game. So it's like, hey,
that's literally what Smash Ultimate was designed to be. It's just
There was
the Smash
three-
with everything.
there was 3 versions of Link in this game, and again, not necessary.
I mean,
No,
I
of
think
course,
people
but-
enjoyed it because, I mean, who wouldn't if you're a Zelda fan?
Yeah,
I am, but I just thought that like
I think they took the Melee and the Brawl characters. Because was Toon Link in Brawl?
Yes,
Yeah, and then what Link was in?
Young Link.
Young Link was in
Because
Melee.
they did adult young and then they did Toon.
Yeah, so they just took it. This is like the Ultimate Edition where it's every Smash Brothers put into one game. So there's going to be a lot of the stupid overlap.
I think that's
'cause
probably a
Melee
big
was
part of why
like that.
Sakurai's probably done with it too, because it was just like, okay, we're gonna go up with like an Avengers Endgame bang, like we're just throwing everything in.
Yeah. Because Melee had like Mario and then Dr. Mario. It's like, okay, that's the same guy.
And I mean, look, like for the
Yeah,
same
that
reasons, that like I want Call of Duty to always have a campaign, but I understand when they chose not to at the one point. I didn't make a hissy fit when it happened. I understood why other people did. It's for the same reason that I don't think a fighting game necessarily needs a story mode, because the majority of the people who play it past like 20 hours, it's all about competitive. So Smash probably figured like, okay, well, everybody's just using it as a multiplayer thing, so let's not go too crazy with the single player stuff, and let's just focus on the multiplayer, because that's what everybody does. They go have a party and they invite all their friends and they just play endlessly. So I understand. I don't think a fighting game has to. It's always nice to have one, but like
I honestly think I think it would have been a lot better had it not been the time of life we're living in right now with the pandemic and everything, where we're not actually able to play with everybody at once.
Well, that's what online's for. I mean, in some ways. I mean, granted, not everybody owns a Switch, but at the same time, too, there are other games where like PC or like you have the remote play stuff. So there's options these days. It's getting better.
Yeah.
But I mean, a game company is not going to fucking plan for the impossible that we thought was never going to happen. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking Thanos.
But I mean, realistically, like, is it awesome that Mortal Kombat has story modes? Yes. But does it need to be there? When you really think about it, no. But they at that point, I would also suspect that they should be charging less if that was ever the case, too.
Yeah, true. Honestly, if it wasn't for the story mode, though, because I'm not into fighting games, Smash Brothers and stuff, yes, because of the nostalgia. But Mortal Kombat, besides the older ones, the newer ones were sour for me because of all the ones that came out in like the PS2 era and all that shit. If it wasn't for the story mode for Mortal Kombat, I guess 9 or just
it would have been
Mortal
9,
Kombat,
the reboot.
I probably wouldn't have played it.
Yeah. I mean, the
But then
reality
I
is,
played
like,
the
the
story
smartest
mode.
thing,
Well-
like, and this is, I hope that a company actually does this someday. Release it, like, fighting games are the perfect, like, guinea pig for this. Release a game. Charge $30 for, or whatever the price is. Like, if it's 80 here, charge 40. If it's 60 in the States, charge 30. Charge individually for the single player and the multiplayer. So if you only want one, you don't have to pay full price for it anymore to use another whole half of the game that you won't use. Because if all you want to do is play the campaign of Mortal Kombat 11, $30 at the start and you're in and you're out. Whereas if you don't care about the story, pay $30, you just go play online and have a blast there. I think it'd be a smart way to go about it, because not everybody is going to buy your game at launch because they know they're only going to get 10 hours out of it.
So Adam, with this $30 of the story, would that also include each individual character's story?
Well, what's the Mortal Kombat? Like, we're talking like offline modes, basically. Like, we're talking story mode, arcade, like practice stuff like that. But the online focus is gone. There's no online.
Okay, so it'd just be
it would be story
story
arcade, like
characters.
Not
arcade.
even. I don't even know if I'd allow local multiplayer just to keep that part safe. Just to be like, hey, if you're gonna play it with people, no, you got to pay for that too. Like, if you want to just breeze through the story stuff solo, here's $30. Go for it.
I'm okay with that. And
It makes sense for the people that aren't going to go crazy with certain things, right? Like, the same would go for shooters. Like, pay $20, play the Call of Duty campaign, and be done with it, right?
Yeah, because I'll never go online for Call of Duty, or at least not so far. I wouldn't. There's other online games I'd probably go into first.
Pay $500,
like
play Madden Ultimate Team, because that's how much money you're going to spend to have any sort of fun in that game.
There's no fun in that game. What?
But it's
Why?
the sense of pride and
It is
accomplishment,
totally
Chris.
phenomenal.
No, it's not. It's like even me with achievements and trophies. It's not actual accomplishment. It's wasted time. Defeat
Chris
10 enemies without getting
Madden
seen.
is totally phenomenal.
Lies.
No,
Nothing but
go back
lies.
to my
John,
review.
you
Go back
are
to my
fake
review.
news.
You have no heart. You got no hat.
Adam, you are fake news. Do not subscribe to CS Radical. He gives fake news.
Why? You want him to... This is where our thing is. Why? No, don't do that.
For sure ain't got no hat. No hat.
So the last thing...
Wrong.
I figure because we're getting close to the end here, we're almost at an hour and a half. So I wanted to bring up one thing that's been kind of on my mind today because I guess there's no such thing as a controversy within the gaming community itself.
The Pet Shop Boys.
What?
Pet Shop Boys. Always on my mind.
Okay, so moving on.
I don't understand that reference.
So Jason Schreier
The song, You're
made a
Always on My
tweet.
Mind by Pet Shop Boys.
Jason Schreier made a tweet. So I guess like when he was talking about the story that was going around about like the studio that was trying to do a Last of Us remake, which I don't understand in the first place because there's already a remaster.
Yeah.
It's literally just to try to get more money from people that are just about to watch the HBO series. Let's be honest. That's all the reasoning for a remake
100%.
would be.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yep.
But like the conversation that he was having was things like, I even have the other tweet here where it was talking about how, you know, Sony is avoiding risk and prioritizing its biggest teams, to which I go, yeah, why wouldn't they? Have you seen how much money they've been making recently?
Yeah. No, I don't get that. I don't get the Last of Us remake. I think that's a horrible decision. But the focus on big blockbusters for their primary first-party
That's
studios.
what they're selling on.
Yeah, like I feel like that's what they do.
So, this whole Last of Us remake thing, like I was wondering if it's actually just going to be a remaster or if it's a full.
Well, the remaster already exists, but they're straight up going to like try to like use the Last of Us 2 engine to remake the game. Which to me is like, there is not enough time between those two games. And I think most of the improvements between the two games is like minor quality of life stuff. It's not worth that much time.
The game was fine as it's on its own. And
like
if
you want to remaster it again so it's like 60 frames 4K if you really want to, I guess, but like did it need to be completely built from scratch again? I don't think so.
That's just an update to the remaster that already exists. It's just like they updated God of War with the 60 FPS and stuff. Like that's not a remake new game. Just add your patch.
I don't know what you're gonna do with it because frankly, like when you play the original, it's legendary. Whereas you played number 2 and you want to slice your wrists.
But apparently it's still legendary, so.
Yeah. It's
just the first game doesn't need a remake.
It doesn't need a remake.
Game,
it's already been done.
Yeah.
Neither of you guys have played it, right?
Well, I tried.
First or second?
The first game.
Yeah, I tried.
I got like 5 hours in and then I ran out of I stopped playing and my PS Now subscription left. But I do have it on the PlayStation Plus collection on my PS5. I will get to it.
I mean, it's the game on that console, so I mean...
But I already know all the spoilers,
the game
so you
itself,
can talk away. If you're worried about spoilers,
I
already
so the
know
game
the
itself, like the gameplay, story mode, length, and everything, it was actually perfect. There nearly nothing needed to be added, nothing needed to be changed, nothing needed to be like expanded on.
And the thing is, the remake's not going to do that either. It's just, again, it's like a port. It feels meaningless.
Yeah. And the PS4 port on PS5 would already run because it's already there. And included even in the PS Plus collection.
So literally, you're going to go on the PlayStation Store, and next to Last of Us Remastered is going to be Last of Us Remake. Like, why?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But I mean, that's not even really what I wanted to... Like, it was this whole thing that kind of started the second tweet, where I guess, like, people just gave him shit about it. And because, you know, the internet is not short of people that just get mad at stuff. I don't like this tweet, though, because he says, one of the most unpleasant things about covering gaming is the way gamers will jump through hoops to deny the news they dislike, from No Man's Sky delays to work conditions at their favorite studios. Anyways, Days Gone 2 is rejected in 2019 as not in development at Sony Bond. I think the problem that I have And I understand it because, believe me, death threats were being issued to, say, Laura Bailey for Last of Us 2. Like, we know what the capabilities of really piss-poor toxic gaming fans, or I guess we want to call them gamers, but I wish we could kick them out. But like,
get rid of them.
I don't like that, and this is me with Jason right now, because I think Jason is way too lost in that group. I think he just can't see past that the gamers that he is conflating to be the majority of the population are the like vocal minority on Twitter, because that's what Twitter is.
Yeah.
Because the reality is I don't like hearing right now people saying bad things about Outriders, because I really enjoy the game, but it's not making me go and say, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. I'm just ignoring it. And that's what most people do. But because all he's seeing are either, oh my God, Jason, that's so true, or fuck you, I'm going to murder you and your family, you kind of conflate the negative one more than the positive one, because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
And it's that thing where it's like, I hate that I love this industry and this community, because it is the worst. And I legitimately say that without joking. It legitimately is the worst.
It's an extremely toxic environment.
I would rather be a sports fan, and that's saying something, because sports is not that much better.
No, I don't. Oh, yeah. Like, that's a toxic place, too, for sure.
But sports, sports is as bad as, like, you know what? I'll actually say this. Sports is literally as bad as gaming, but the problem is with gaming is that gaming isn't real. People are getting mad at fiction, whereas sports at least is something that is actually real and you can physically touch.
I think the thing with sports is some of the fans are also too old to know how to use Twitter, so we don't get to see those super negative people.
No, they just call into radio shows and yell at that guy.
Yeah, they yell at the AM radio shows for sure.
You guys gotta go to church.
The best time is always when a trade deadline happens, because then you get like the guys who are like, I think they should trade LeBron James and to us, and we should give them 3 guys on our bench.
I wish that would happen.
Well, we're not saying it's the Raptors getting that.
Yeah, I know.
It's the Raptors.
This is some dumb fuck, like fucking I don't know, like a Timberwolves fan being like, yeah, let's get LeBron for 3 nobodies that no one's ever heard of.
It would make most sense for him to go to the Timberwolves, actually, now that I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Chris, no one wants to go to the Timberwolves. They're that bad.
I'm not gonna lie. If I was offered, I would go.
If Minnesota's willing to pay, if Minnesota's willing to pay me max money to basically fuck off on the court, why the hell wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I will fuck off all over that court. I don't give a shit.
Why is it all sticky?
The fucking Timberwolves.
The bench.
Be careful next time.
As no one's watching the game. Kevin Durant.
But at least you'll be getting paid to have no hat.
Yes. No hat.
Minnesota.
Ain't got no hat or basketball skills.
But no, like,
it's
just dumb. Yeah. Like, I get why he's mad, and you can tell that he probably gets it really fucking bad. I obviously don't. None of us do, because we're not famous enough to get that kind of traction. But still, whenever I see tweets like this, my brain immediately goes, Jason, you know that's not gamers. You know it's not the majority of us. You're just listening to the fucking minority that are being douchey.
So,
yeah.
I hate to say it like this, but I remember watching one video of somebody who was trying to justify a situation, and
I'm assuming a bad one.
You know what? I'm not going to get into it.
Okay, cool. Like, if we want to stay away from like trigger stuff, let's not do that.
Yeah. But speaking of basketball and LeBron, I am so excited for Space Jam 2. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see it.
I was sitting there being like, oh no, here comes more NBA talk. I'm like, oh wait, Space Jam, that's right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I am excited for that too.
I kept saying that, like, if you're going to make Space Jam 2, because they were talking about it for a long time, like, you make it with LeBron or you don't make it at all. Because they're talking about making it with Kevin Durant and other people. I'm like, nope, make it with LeBron or do not make it at all.
Yeah, because I mean, literally, like, the comparison at that point is like, it's not even like the current number 1 of the league. Like, why? I mean, if LeBron was out and there'd be enough time, like, maybe you could pull it off. But I think at this point, if LeBron's still playing in the NBA, it has to be LeBron. Like, there's no argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like literally no one comparable to...
It's a shame that it's so late in his career, because this should have been done like at least 5 years ago, but now is better than never.
I think now people are starting to be like, hey, yeah, this guy This
No,
guy's
I think right in the heyday of him winning all his championships, like that's capitalizing on the moment, right?
I don't know. The two in Miami were kind of like the first super team. The one in Cleveland, if they made it after that, I get that. But now this time where he's become the MVP, the finals MVP.
I mean, I guess you can make the
different
argument he's in
teams.
California now, so it even makes more sense because he's already
And
in
a
it.
Laker, like that Laker jersey. It's like when they showed the first picture of him in a Laker jersey, it's like this should have happened a long time ago. It's like
I still hate it because I don't like Dynasty. So whenever I see a bigger guy in a team form like that, I'm like, man, come on, stop giving the same. Like it's like I don't hate the Yankees so much now, but like it's gonna happen again soon. I know it. It's gonna be right back to the pinstripes
Mike
being where they
Trout
were.
becomes a Yankee.
You say that, but that's possible unless he literally loves like being like the center of no one's attention in LA because no one fucking pays
In all
attention.
fairness, he's still in LA. Oh, he's in Anaheim. But
Yeah,
that's
but let's
basically-
be completely honest. Like, you ask a person like in the East Coast to name a baseball player, Mike Trout probably isn't the first one that comes up, and he's without question the best player in the league every year.
He's the best of his generation.
He's possibly like the best player ever, at least in like the memories of anybody under the age of 40.
There's Albert Pujols.
No, he's better than Pujols. He's a much more complete player than Pujols ever could have been.
No, but Pujols was Trout's not a dick. but Pujols
Trout will
is way
actually like surpass Pujols' numbers if he can stay healthy. There's
better.
no way he
I
doesn't.
believe that. But it's like
Chris is like Minnesota.
Minnesota.
No, with Space Jam 2, like I'm very excited to see it. I was watching the trailer, I'm like, hey, this actually looks like it's going to be fun to watch. It's not going
it's
to
gonna
be
be fun.
just a fan service. Well, no, it is a fan service. So I'm just like,
I was gonna say, what do you think that?
Yeah,
it's a Looney
definitely
Tunes
fan
movie
service.
with a basketball player. That is always fucking fan service.
like
And this one-
for me? I only hate LeBron on an NBA court, which is where he lives.
I still don't
But
really
it's-
have an interest to watch Space Jam just because I don't think it's for me.
It's for me.
Yeah,
And for Shell.
yeah
And
but it's like
I don't follow basketball. No,
there is literally no one else who should be starring in Space
Yeah,
Jam
no, I think we
Yeah.
can all agree on
besides
that.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like how this
I
one-
mean, if he was still alive, Kobe would have probably been like the next best thing.
Kobe, I think it would.
But I'm talking in terms of star power. I don't even care about like anything outside of it.
Had they made Space Jam 2 and Space Jam 3, then yes, Kobe would have been Space Jam 2, where LeBron would have been Space Jam 3.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they were making it now and you're making choices, like Kobe would be the next best, even with him like on like the retirement end, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Kobe's
sure,
on
you could
retirement.
bring up your Steph Currys or Antetokounmpos or stuff like that, but like they don't have the same star power still. Like they're not there
No.
yet.
Yeah, they
No.
don't. No.
It's like because the stuff LeBron does off the court, Jordan was never even halfway to that.
And like we'll see, obviously, as soon as LeBron retires, whenever that is, and then we'll see what happens from then on. But I mean, like it obviously makes sense now. So
Be another guy
see-
20 years from now.
At this point, I see this fucking guy being like Tom Brady, where it's like you kind of have to like sniper his knees to make him retire at this point.
I don't know. Isn't he still injured right now?
Whom?
LeBron? Isn't he out right
Yeah.
now? So like
Yeah.
you never know, that injury might be something that sticks with him for the rest of it. Like Tiger
yeah.
Woods could have played golf forever, but then he had that back injury and then it just kept going down from there, right?
Well,
So
the thing is with Tom Brady, the difference is like an NFL season is like 16 games a season, and Tom Brady usually has a good offensive line.
yeah,
to
you got a lot of
protect
time
him.
to heal, and if you're lucky, you can go an entire game without really taking any heavy contact. So
Where with basketball, like LeBron carries the load for pretty much every team he's on, and he plays at least 75% of the games and starts 75% of the games that he's playing.
and I mean at his age now too, because I think he's in his mid to late 30s now, isn't he?
He's 1 year younger than me.
Yeah, so like
Well,
he's going to
he's
be at the
30.
point soon where like injuries are not going to heal as fast anymore. So it's going to start adding up.
But the difference with LeBron than like the previous generations, this guy actually puts a lot of effort and time into self-maintenance and taking care of himself.
Well, that's because it's a different time too. Like
Yeah.
we're still in an age where like we're still trying to get hockey out of the tough guy. You got to just tie her up by your skate laces and keep pushing thing. So
Yeah.
like that was an age like in the Jordan era. Like it was literally. Also, you see like what fouls were back then were so much harder than they used to be too, or than they are now, I should say.
So there was one commercial I saw for Monday Night Football. Literally every single clip that was shown in that 30-second commercial was a foul that would get somebody kicked out.
Oh yeah.
One guy stepped on somebody. One guy face masked and twisted a guy's neck.
Oh yeah.
One guy blindsided hit somebody. One guy took his helmet off.
Yeah, no, it was just the game.
It's
The game
like-
back then was just apparently you were just allowed to kill people back then, and then we realized,
Pretty much.
concussions suck.
Like it's like the whole. It's like I can't play in this soft league. It's like, okay. Do you want to
'Cause,
bring
I
a
mean,
machete to the field or something?
In a
Like, what the
way,
fuck is
it
wrong with you?
sucks as a fan because it means now like the games are less like intense. Like they can still be intense for a different reason, but they're not like physically intense as they used to be. But at the same time, guys aren't getting hurt as much usually. And it's kind of nice that way. Like
That is true.
it's pretty nice that like it sucks that like for example it's really hard to see like a lot of pitchers in baseball go a full 9 innings now because everybody's trying to like keep their arms preserved, but it also means that you're less likely to see your best guy go down for an entire season and then you go, well, I guess we're fucked now. Now that's less likely, so it's kind of fun unless you're the Blue Jays right now. Like we're fucked on injuries. Holy shit.
And what's it called? For example, I'll use one example. Eric Lindros and Paul Correa, both of them. Scott Stevens destroyed
Bobby
both
Orr.
of those guys.
Bobby Orr could have had a long ass career if he lived in this era.
Oh, Bobby Orr. Oh,
And
yeah.
Cam Neely as well, I think also like two Bruins off the top of my head that I know had really short careers that were really good.
Fuck the Bruins.
Like it sucks. Like back then it was such a rough, like all sports were pretty rough. So it's just kind of the changes. Like we've realized that, people's health is important. Lo and behold, what a concept. But
that's why I think like Paul Correa and Eric Lindros, had they played now, they would have been more successful. And also, had Eric Lindros not played in Philly,
well, it's okay. Like you can still go back and play NHL games and see like the big hammer on like Eric Lindros, so you know he can hit real good. And then you see the stick on Paul Correa, and you go, he shoot real good. And then you can just go back and relive the times. I would love to have like a game that just literally like has like an entire roster from the year. Like say NHL 22 comes out and it's like, but here's this other mode where it's like, hey, here's a blast from the past. This year we pick 96. Here's all the rosters from that. Maybe they can't pour all the faces because that'd be really fucking hard. But like even just having it top down, like just keep like not having all the extra shots in like the old school game, even just releasing an old school game. Because I think they did that too for because I think you played it, Chris.
94 Rewind.
Yeah, the Rewind. Like just do that and just like have an old roster in and just put it on for $5. Just do something fun with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyways, we're hitting an hour 45. I think it's probably a good spot to end. So any last thoughts before we kick it off here?
Gamers, don't be dicks.
Yeah, that's a good message.
Hey,
to
I
go
like
on.
it. Yeah, let's go on that.
And
Especially on Twitter or Reddit.
Well, in general, just don't be a dick. How about we don't even limit to gamers? Hey, everybody, don't be a dick.
If you're a human, don't be a dick. We don't have to say this to animals because animals aren't.
Yeah,
dicks.
cats are perpetual dicks. We can't stop that.
But
Yeah.
they
The
have
dogs
a
are
reason. They have a good
dogs
reason.
are fantastic. I met one dog today. He barked the hell out at me. I went and said hi, and he's like, "We're best friends now."
And then
And
a
it was a
cat's like,
lab.
fuck you, bitch, and just smacks you in the face.
And it was a lab.
So anyways,
love that.
that's going to do it for the VCR podcast. Thank you so much for checking us out. If you did enjoy the show, whether it's on audio, that being on audio, if you're watching on or listening, I should say, on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, et cetera, obviously, if you can give us a rating, please do that. If you're listening to, I always screw it up. I always say listen on the watch on the listen. It's just a bad habit. If you're watching the YouTube VOD, obviously subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below. And same with the Twitch stream. If you're watching either the VOD there or you end up watching us live here on twitch.tv/csradical and watch the absolute shit show that is every time we do this live. Yeah, obviously give us the follow there and participate in the chat if you want. Although lurkers are fine. We'll silently judge you, but lurkers are fine.
Yeah.
So
Join
yeah.
our Discord.
Oh yeah, and the Discord too, which I believe I link in the YouTube and the Twitch now. So that's all there for everybody. So yeah, Thank you so much for checking us out this week, and we'll see you for episode 72 on the next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.